Runescape players continue to be completely unhinged, the creepy AI hologram of Mario that Nintendo has no idea about, and Microsoft takes one step closer to world domination. I'm Ash Dixon, and this is GINX News. Man, I love old school Runescape players because honestly, they're just a different breed. Last year, we talked about Avenged Kalas, the guy who spent over 2,500 hours catching monkfish because why not? And well, we're kicking off 2024 with yet more insanity, because in RuneScape, you can get a little pet raccoon called Rocky, and normally he can only be acquired through leveling up your thieving skill. Traditionally, you do so by pickpocketing, stealing things, by being a thief. However, a guy called Icarus Lives had a farming-only character, appropriately named Is Farmer. And you know what they say, it ain't much, but it's honest work. But it did create a dilemma, because Icarus wanted a goddamn pet raccoon, and he ain't about to turn to a life of crime to get it. But not all hope was lost. One way you could get Rocky is you could travel to a specific garden where you can pick fruit for a very tiny amount of farming XP. You can then turn that fruit into juice for a much greater amount of thieving XP, but technically that would be stealing, and Is Farmer ain't no thief. And it turns out if you just pick the fruit and then politely put it back down, there's a 1 in 10,339 chance Rocky will just turn up, even if your thieving skill is 1. And that's what he did for 149 hours. Now bear in mind, if he had just got stuck in with some juicing, he would have earned 88 levels in thieving and probably would have picked up Rocky way sooner. But no, Icarus actively chose to abandon all of that, because Is Farmer is a simple man. A simple man with a rather ravishing raccoon. Now, I want to quickly chat about the upcoming Suicide Squad game. On yesterday's show, we covered the latest preview, which didn't exactly get the best response from publications. Well, in response to that, Rocksteady have now lifted the NDA for all of the players who took part in the playtest. It's a rather bold move, because you would assume all those players would just join in on trashing the game. And while it's a clear attempt to change the narrative, it seems to be more of an act of faith in the title. And it seems to be working, because a lot of people are suddenly speaking out saying they actually rather enjoyed it. Now, it's obviously not perfect, and quite a few people have a problem with that cluttered UI. I mean, hot damn, there's a lot going on there. But maybe things aren't as bad as some articles led us to believe. And while researching the story yesterday, I noticed that a lot of the articles trashing the game were from people who didn't actually play the preview themselves. They were just referencing the people who had and didn't like it. And often when you read the first-hand articles, they weren't as clear-cut as maybe their clickbaity headline would have suggested. Again, I'm not saying this game is gonna magically be good, but I'm kind of hoping Rocksteady pulls it off now, just because I do like a redemption arc, and it would be a rather pleasant surprise. And you know what else would be a pleasant surprise? Suddenly waking up and this channel having thousands and thousands of subscribers. You can make that dream a reality. If you have already subscribed though, well, I don't know, maybe just leave an interesting fact down in the comments, because let's be honest, these videos can often be a bit silly, and that way, at least people would have learned something today. The Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas ends today, and while the crowd has been wowed by some funky new cars, bikes, and whatever these things are, they've now been greeted by a creepy AI Mario, or at least it looks like Mario. He's got the mustache, he's got the hat, and he's got those beautiful blue eyes, although he does sound like this.
I don't have feelings, but I am ready and ready to make your shopping experience fun and exciting.
It's basically Microsoft Sam, but with an offensive Italian twang. But this is CES. Nintendo doesn't usually turn up here. In fact, they don't even have a booth, so what's Mario doing in Las Vegas? Well, it turns out he was made by Proto Hologram, who make holograms that you can interact with. The problem is, they didn't ask for permission to use Mario, and we all know how Nintendo can be when it comes to using their property. Nintendo haven't responded yet to the blatant infringement, but a spokesperson said to Kotaku, the AI hologram animation briefly seen today is an unfinished proof of concept tested for a client to demonstrate technological capabilities and innovation. It is not intended for commercial use. So maybe they've got around it because they're not making money, but yeah, still a little bit cheeky. But the story just gets better. Apparently, it was also made in collaboration with the AARP, an advocacy group for people over 50. Their goal is to demonstrate how AI holograms can combat loneliness for the elderly. And this is what they came up with. Now, I just want you to really immerse yourself in the dystopian nightmare that this would be. I mean, Just picture it, you've had a difficult life, you've worked hard, perhaps by picking lots of fruit. Your bones are brittle and your back is sore. Fate took your adoring wife long ago and now you sit in a dusty house far too big for one lonely man. But don't worry, here's Mario! Wahoo! Don't be a sad old man, you got me! Howie zowie! And suddenly, just like that, you cancel your trip to Dignitas. Welcome to the future, everyone. It's time for a quickfire round. There's a few little stories today that aren't worth their own segment, so we thought we'd bunch them all together. First up, this headline caught my eye. Starfield player claims the game feels completely new after 600 hours. All I can say to that is, nice try. Next up, Discord is laying off 17% of its workforce. It's sad news, especially as they also laid off 4% of their staff last summer. I was kind of hoping we'd left mass layoffs behind in 2023, but nope. Here we are. One company that's not struggling, however, is Microsoft. Yep, Microsoft has just become the most valuable corporation on Earth. They have a $2.9 trillion market cap. For some reason, I thought putting the numbers on screen here would help you comprehend that, but no, it just doesn't help. So for reference, Microsoft has basically the same value as the entire GDP of France, and soon the UK too, thanks to Brexit. That means it's taken over Apple, mainly due to AI causing a surge in stock value. However, saying that, the two seem to be neck and neck today, so by the time this video comes out, Apple might be back on top. But who doesn't like a bit of friendly competition between two unethical wealth-hoarding mega corporations? And this is where I love you and leave you. You can check out yesterday's video somewhere around here. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.